Hey friends, this is the Mrs. Volfie from our half acre homestead, and this is what's going on. Now, um, I was really excited last week, Thursday or Friday, when the head office at corporate for the people who sold us our pool. I'm not mentioning any names, okay, folks? And there's a reason. Anyway, the head office in Montreal phoned me Thursday or Friday and said that the pool installers were coming Monday. Yes, so excited. And they said they do two pools in a day. So I don't know which one they're doing first, but they said if they're coming in the morning, if yours is the first pool, it'll be 7 or 8 in the morning. If it's the second pool of their day, it's between noon and 1, they'll show up. So I said, okay, we'll have them phone me before they come so that I can bring my dogs in the house and the dogs won't be in their way and all that stuff. I was really excited. And they said, okay, fine. So they phoned me at about noon hour and said, okay, we're 45 minutes away. And I said, call me 5 minutes too. I'll make sure my dogs are out of the way. An hour and a half later, they show up, roughly an hour and a half. And they pull in with all their, big trailer and truck and all this stuff. And they get out their wheelbarrow and their rakes and their surveying, leveling thing and all this stuff. And he asked me, I said, would you like some ice water? And they said, sure. So I was going to get them some ice water, but he said, first, where do you want the filter? And where's the electrical and blah, blah, blah. So I showed him where everything was, or I told him where, it was under the deck and everything. And I went in the house to get them a jug of ice water. And I no sooner am getting the ice out of the freezer when the guy comes to my kitchen window and says, we have a big problem. And I'm thinking, oh, no, no, please, please. I can't brook any more delays. The pig roast is in 11 days. And I said, okay, I'll be right out. And so I came out, and the two other guys, because there's three of these guys, okay? The two other guys are standing at the end of the deck taking pictures and going, ooh, like that. And I'm going, oh no, right? Because I'm thinking there's like a boulder, they've run into a boulder in the ground that has to be excavated or something, right? And he goes, there's a bee's nest under the deck. And I went, oh, that's right. I said, there's a little yellow jacket nest, like a baseball, like or whatever, under the deck. And I said, well, I'll get you a staple gun and a paper grocery bag, and you can just put it over top and go pop, 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 pop with a staple, and it'll contain till my husband gets home. And he said, oh, no, no, no. He said, my coworker's allergic. A guy who works outdoors all summer long is allergic to bees and not carrying an EpiPen. The plot thickens. And I said, okay, just a minute. I'm going to call my husband, right? So I phoned Howard and I said, these guys are going to leave because of the bee's nest. Because how he knew about it, it's only, he was working under the deck on the weekend getting the wiring for the pool. And he goes, he said, oh, there's a little thing here. It's right at the very corner of the deck underneath. And I said, you better look after that. And he said, yep, yep. And I went to I thought I'm going to remind him after as it gets dark, because that's when the bees all come back and they go in, and then you can dispose of it while they're in the nest. And I meant to remind him and I forgot. So anyway, I said, so, we'll put this paper bag on it. And oh, no, no, that's not going to work. We can't take the chance of stirring it up and it's stinging my coworker. And And I said, okay, okay, just a second. And I went and called Howard. And I said, you got to get here, and you got to get here now. These guys are going to leave over the bee's nest under the deck. And he went, oh, no way. What are they, 12? I said, just come home. And he said, I'm on my way. Poor Howie, right? Ditches 6 hours of work to drive home from Ottawa. So I went outside and I said, okay, my husband's coming home. There's a restaurant around the corner if you want to go for lunch, if you want me to make you some sandwiches. Oh, when will he be home? I said, in less than an hour. And he goes, oh, I better phone my boss. So he goes, walks away about 10 feet, phones his boss, completely in French, of course, And his boss phoned the pool company corporate in Montreal, who then phoned me and said, we have a problem. We can't ask them to put up the pool if there's danger of someone being stung and having an allergic reaction. And I went, well, my husband's on his way home from work and he's going to fix it. It's not that big of a deal. He's going to fix it. And they said, oh, well, and they said, how long is that going to take? I said, less than an hour now, probably 40 minutes. And she said, oh, well, they can't wait that long. You know, that'll put them behind their schedule. And I said, I don't know what else to say. I said, does this mean then if they leave, they're coming back tomorrow? And she said, oh, no, they only come into that area once a week. And I said, okay, then they're coming back next Monday. Oh, well, next Monday's totally booked, so we don't know. I said, my party is in 11 days. And I was told this pool was going to be erected before the 7th of July. And she said, I don't know what to tell you, ma'am. We'll call you next week, 24 to 48 hours before they arrive. I said, so they are coming next week, and you're going to call me 24 to 48 hours before they show up? And she said, no, we don't know if we're going to have an opening next week, but we will call you 24 to 48 hours before if we do. And I said, that's not good enough. And she said, well, madame, I don't know what to tell you. And I said, I have no idea. So I got off the phone because these guys were now packing up their gear to leave. And I'm like, I'm not panicking. I'm not panicking. Well, I am panicking, but I'm not panicking. And then the guy came around to the side of the house to put some water in a jug before he left. And he said, you understand? He said, even if we wait for your husband and he moves the nest or removes the nest, it could stir up the bees and sting my co-worker. And I went, okay, whatever, right? They left. Howie showed up 20 minutes later. And you know what my husband did? He walked over to the deck, opened a paper grocery bag, put it under the nest and went, dropped it down and went, put it on the ground and dropped a patio slab on it. Problem solved. No one stung. What did I do to deserve the fact that when they finally show up, they're not here half an hour and they're leaving over a bee's nest? No, I call bullshit. They just didn't want to work because it was too hot. And they found an excuse that I couldn't argue with. So I phoned the store where we bought our pool because the way it works is the store isn't responsible for the installation. They're only responsible for selling you the pool and all the necessary parts. Then it goes to corporate to hand out the installation things, the installation schedule. And something dawned on me. It was really kind of fishy. And this is why I know they left, because they were, even if we had to fix the bee problem, which they didn't want me to do because I could have stapled the paper bag over it until Howie got home, right? I could have done that. But last week when they phoned me, Thursday or Friday, she said they only do 2 pools a day. So if my pool was the second pool of the day, their last job of the day, why couldn't they wait the extra 20 minutes for my husband to get home to handle the problem? Because they just didn't want to do it because they were wimps. So I started making phone calls and we found a pool installer and it was going to cost us more than what we paid for this one, like for these guys to do it. And then you remember my friend Nat, she shaved my head and all that stuff. We were here at Christmas making cookies and stuff and over the years. Her husband's a landscaper. And Howie phoned him and said, Steve, can you give me a hand? He said, I can put up the pool. I've done it before. But he said, I want it done correctly. I want to do it correctly. And I need an expert who knows how to properly level and tamp the ground for a pool. Steve said, oh, I can do that. I'll give you a hand. So I got the phone call this morning from the manager at the store who actually, God bless you, Steve, he went to bat for me. And he phoned me and left a message this morning saying they can have the pool up by the 25th. And so I phoned him back and he said, nope, we've got it up to the 23rd. Now remember, folks, my pig roast is on the 28th and they want to put it up on the 25th or the 23rd. And I said, you know what, Steve, I really appreciate, this is a different Steve than the Steve that's helping Howie, okay? This is the guy from the store. I said, you know what, I appreciate everything you've done to expedite this issue. I said, but the truth is, I don't care if it's the 21st or the 25th. If you can't tell me that they're going to put my pool up guaranteed by this Friday, I'm going to have to ask for the installation fee back, and I want it immediately so I can pay somebody else to put my pool up. And he said, I totally understand. I totally understand. He said, I will talk to head office. They will mail you a check out today. And if I'm lucky, it'll get here for Friday. So this has been one debacle after another. But Steve and Howie are going to let me film them putting the pool up. So if nothing else, that's what's going on right now. They're actually out there right now, and it's like 7:45 to 8 at night. They're out there right now, planning and how the pool we bought, of course, comes with a drain this time, so that if we ever have to drain it, we don't have to poke a hole and replace the liner. We can actually open the drain in the bottom and it goes out through a tube. My dog is barking. Anyway, so, and we haven't even figured out how we're cooking the pig yet, because we couldn't get the cinder blocks we wanted. We couldn't find anywhere that would rent a big rotisserie. And we haven't had the time to dig a ground oven. So that's all up in the air. So I had a rough day yesterday. I phoned my son and I cried. And he said, it's okay. And I said, I'm sorry. And he goes, it's okay, Mom. It's called venting for a reason. And you can call my boys, eh? So anyway, after I vented, I started immediately working in solution and we got it all figured out. And I said to Howie, I said, I'll breathe again as long as you can tell me that you're going to make sure the pool gets up and that we're going to have a pit to cook the pig in. And he said, absolutely, sweetheart. Don't sweat it. I said, good. It's all good. Yesterday, I was a little stressed, but that's what's going on. That's what's going on. It's been nothing but a nightmare since February. I wish we had thought to buy the pool in February, because we probably would have been one of the first on the dockets to have it put up. But the truth is, it's July, it was hot, and these guys just didn't want to work. And we got bumped. And, I said to him, I said the 23rd or the 25th, what happens if these guys show up and one of them finds another bee's nest? Well, then what? I said, I can't take that chance now. It's too late. So this is the Miss Wolfie from our half-acre homestead saying, my family is well, nobody's injured, and, nobody's sick or dying. Everything else is small stuff. I just got to learn not to sweat that small stuff. All right. Take care. God bless. Thank you for your patience. It's just a rough time right now for me to get any videos done. All right. I will update you as I go. All right. Take care. God bless. Mwah. Love you guys.